When a new hot thing comes around, it immediately gets jumped upon by everyone and everything wanting a piece of that pie. If you're old enough to remember when Pokemon first hit the scene, it was everywhere. It's still very popular today, but those first couple of years, you couldn't escape Pikachu trying to rub his giant Pokemon Juggernaut penis in your face, and this, like many popular things, get oversaturated with merchandise and other tie-ins. Family Guy has suffered from this somewhat, and that includes the inevitable video game. This, however, was not released during the show's early hype. Family Guy first aired in January 1999, but today's game, Family Guy Video Game, was not released until October 2006, pretty late in the console's life cycle. The PS3 was only a month away, and the Xbox 360 was already out. So, with 7 years of the show to work with, does this mean High Voltage Software have put in the time and effort to give us a deep, well-crafted experience that will please both gamers and fans of the show? Let's pop this imaginatively titled game in and take a look. Family Guy Video Game. There's a naming format I've never liked. Do they really need to inform people that a piece of media is clearly intended for a video game system? Who's going to buy this and try and put it in their DVD player? Oh, it's for those types of people. Anyway, with a large character roster, there's plenty of potential for wacky random things going on the show is famous for. But no, though wacky goings-on do go on, here the game just switches between 3 playable characters, Stewie, Brian and Peter with their own gameplay style. In an attempt to make it look like the show, they've gone for that cel-shaded style to kind of make the 3D look 2D. That can work and has been done a lot better, but here, no. It's quite choppy and the facial animations have very few frames. Like The Simpsons, Family Guy characters don't really translate well to 3D. Have you seen that Peter fan mod for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? That's pretty cool, but he still doesn't look quite right.
This is a day to remember, Rupert. My mind control device is complete.
We start off with Stewie. Stewie has invented a mind control device and plans to use it with Peter's satellite dish to control the masses. Bertram shows up and has similar plans for world domination. After tricking Stewie into destroying the dish, Stewie goes after Bertram to learn his plans in his original lair, Peter's testicles.
Gross.
But first he needs to get inside Peter. Peter is currently indulging in a Mr. Belvedere marathon, until Bertram's dish destruction causes it to land on Peter, hospitalising him.
Okay, some kind of squirrel or Meg, stop interrupting my program!
Ugh, this looks like an Iraqi trailer park.
Stewie uses this opportunity to shrink down and enter his body.
Lois? Lois?
Coming to, Peter sees a Batman signal-like image of Mr. Belvedere, and is convinced that he is behind the kidnapping of the rest of the Griffin family, and swears to track him down. Stewie and Peter's stories kind of intertwine, and give some varied stages like the hospital, Peter's insides, and all the places Peter goes to find Mr. Belvedere. But I did mention that Brian is the third playable character, and his story has absolutely nothing to do with the other two. In fact, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Partway through Stewie's hospital stages, Brian is suddenly at the police station looking for evidence of Seabreeze's real father. Okay, where did that come from? The only introduction to Brian's participation is him sitting on the couch reading about a hidden pornographic cheat.
Huh. Hidden pornographic scene viewable by pressing up, up, down, down, left. Huh.
And yes, I tried it. I thought maybe this hidden scene would contain more insight into the Seabreeze story, but no, it just starts. Anyway, Stewie stages are third-person platformer shooters. With his trusty ray gun, he'll ruthlessly shoot anyone in his way. Collecting these bolts will increase the gun's power and add new features. A nifty mechanic is the ricochet. Laser barriers need to be deactivated, and a well-angled laser beam will bounce off the windowed walls and hit its power box. A nice little geometric puzzle there. And since he still has the mind control helmet, he can control unexpected suckers into doing his bidding. Because, you know, he's a baby and nobody questions that for some reason. One thing Family Guy does that I think is a little overdone in games is the kill waves of enemies in a single arena-like area until you can move on or the time runs out. This pops up way too much, especially in Peter's stages.
Damn you, Belvedere! You've corrupted both the young and the old!
Whilst suffering many laser singe marks on his insides, Peter is running around Quahog looking for Mr. Belvedere in the form of a Streets of Rage-like brawler. For me, these were the worst parts. They're repetitive, thumb-aching, and can get quite difficult. Square to punch, circle to kick, and many combos to learn along the way. This is the power move bar, and it is essential, otherwise you're fucked. Peter can do a spinning bird kick and it will take out anyone surrounding him, so collecting all the snacks people drop to replenish it is a must, and it can still fail.
Ah, you bastard!
You think that's bad? Remember the time Brian's pot felt totally tacked on? Oh yeah, Brian.
Oh, what the hell? What the hell?
Although his involvement has nothing to do with anything, well, Peter and Stu's are only loosely related, at least Brian's stages are better than Peter's. It's stealth time. That means strategically placed objects, people with a very narrow and short field of vision, and repeating the same catchphrases and lines over and over again.
Ooh, gonna pee. Ooh, gonna pee.
Brian can hide under things, use shadows, and occasionally become invisible for a short time if a minigame is successfully completed.
This reminds me of a time I went to the disco.
Family Guy is famous for its cutaway gags, and a clever way of integrating them is to make them into mini-games. The downside is that they're very random and over very quickly. They don't give you any time to figure out what you're supposed to do, and by the time you do, you've already failed. The game could have done with a bit of polish. You think that's bad? Remember the time the game wouldn't let you progress after the boss battle with Gandhi? There's no point to this. Don't get me wrong, this is not the worst game I've ever played. I've heard this was terrible, and to be honest, it's not bad. It has some good points, and some of the jokes do work. But yeah, it only exists because money. The feel of the show is here, and all the voice actors are present, but it's just a below-average, rushed-feeling, reference-filled game.
It's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter...
Hey look, it's a popular thing you recognise, so let's make a video game out of it, full of other things you recognise. It's called Family Guy Video Game, and that's exactly what you get. Bland, unoriginal gameplay with 3 overlapping stories, where 2 just end in a very anticlimactic way. Stewie's campaign is clearly the best one. It has the more enjoyable and varied gameplay, engaging dynamic between him and Bertram, and it actually has an ending, instead of Peter and Brian's that are just... oh, is that it? Okay. Even if you're a fan of the show, I doubt you'll enjoy this. It's a shitty cash grab and nothing more. You think that's bad? Remember the time they made a second Family Guy game in 2012? Oh, fuck.